So BISI has joined us. Hello, BISI. I'm going to add you now. Hey.
Hello.
How are you, my lovely?
I'm blessed, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm going to turn off comments. So how's your day been? Before we get started, how's your day been?
It's been okay. I think I've
Okay.
had an okay day today. An okay day. How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been pretty chilled today, actually. I haven't had much going on, but it's been pretty chilled, pretty good.
I like your hair.
Oh, thank you. I like your hair.
Thank you.
I like the color, actually. It really suits you.
Thank you. I was wondering if like black or brown look better. People are saying the brown looks better than the black. I'm not too sure, you know.
Yeah, no, I think brown looks better because it brings out your face as well.
Thank
It
you.
looks good. It looks good. Thank you for being a guest on this series. It's a pleasure. It's an honor for me to be interviewing you, and I'm excited because I have a lot of questions. I've actually, for the first time, I've actually got a list of questions. So
No pressure. No pressure.
No, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It's gonna be good. It's not anything pressuring. It's obviously because I've done a lot of research on you, and I'm really interested in what you do. So it's no trick questions. It's gonna be enjoyable questions. So relax. Okay. So is this the first time you've ever spoken about mental health, mental well-being?
Yes. On like a live?
Yeah.
Yes.
And how are you feeling?
Well, now that you told me you got like 5 of your questions, I was like, what's she gonna ask me? But I'm feeling all right. I feel like today's been one of those days where I'm just kind of like thinking about like just well-being and how my mind is at. To be honest, the whole week I've kind of been feeling like that. So it could be very timely. It could be very interesting.
Okay. So the questions they're not going to be in depth. It's just going to be about based around your career, actually.
Okay.
So I've integrated the questions around that.
Okay.
So you mentioned about your week. You've been thinking about well-being and your mental health. What has triggered that?
I guess because the whole lockdown thing is just getting long now. Like this whole circumstance or this unforeseen circumstance, however we want to call it, whatever the English that they want to use to describe it, it's just getting long. And I feel like a lot of energy is just being depleted from me right now. So I kind of need to like think about where my mind is at. You know, when you're like a presenter or when you're someone that's kind of like always that light, always so bright, it gets tiring after a while, especially when things just don't seem to be going the way that you want it to go. So I think that's kind of what's been the trigger for me to kind of try to reset and kind of get myself back on par with what is required.
Definitely, and thank you for sharing that. I'm happy that you've been able to identify, the trigger as to why you've been kind of having this time to reflect on your mental well-being. And you are a very bubbly, happy person. You bring the light and the joy in everything that you do, but it's so important to, have that time for yourself to just kind of, like you said, reset, refocus, and just get your mind in gear as to what's going to happen next.
Definitely.
Okay, so you are the founder of the Young Gifted Initiative, and I think this initiative is needed, especially with you advocating for self-worth, self-identity, and self-image, because I feel that in today's generation, this is something that a lot of people do struggle with. So what inspired you to create that initiative?
So I started a Young Gifted Initiative after I won Miss Nigeria UK, which was way back in 2014, right? And then that was basically because I always felt the need to serve. I felt like that's what is part of everyone's calling, but it just really gave me a lot of joy to do so. So I was like, how am I going to do that? And just start an initiative, basically trying to inspire young people to be the best that they can be regardless of their circumstance. And I did that through either online campaigns or different events to kind of challenge the current mindset of young people and be that catalyst between where they are to where they want to be. And then with regards to like self-worth, self-identity, and self-image, for the past 2 years, I created this concept called Selfie. And Selfie is an acronym for self-image enhanced. And what it does is that it teaches young women how they ought to see themselves by breaking down the fundamental principles of makeup application and relating it directly to the woman's life. So every single time you and I sit in front of the mirror to apply makeup, we're not doing it to fit in with the social media pressures we're facing, or to apply a fake level of beauty, or to just basically do whatever social media is saying us to do, or to hide under a mask of insecurities. We're literally doing it for the sole purpose of what makeup is for, which is to enhance yourself. If you don't know who you are, the question arises as to what are you enhancing. So I wanted to break it down in a way where you can apply, yes, the makeup steps, but also principles that advocate the importance of self-worth, self-identity, and self-image to you. So not only do you make yourself look great from the outside, you also instill principles within yourself that enable you to be your best version and strive and become, you know, your best self. And like, my dream and vision for that is to have a bunch of young women worldwide walking around with their best selfies, bossing it in whatever field or whatever realm that they want to occupy in. And I started Selfie because, as you can see, like right now, my skin's pretty okay. Like, we have to thank God.
Pretty okay. Your skin is glowing.
No, we gotta thank God.
Your skin's glowing.
It's helping me here right now, but in my final year of uni, as I had clear skin, like all the brown, and in my final year of uni, so let's say I'm about 20, 21 now, I get like a crazy outbreak of spots, like crazy, like I've done finished being a teenager, so why is it coming to the early 20s? And it was absolutely insane. And I felt like I was very self-assured. Like, I would go around like this, not phased at all, little lip gloss, skin cool, no eyelashes, I'm good. But then when I had the spots, I literally could not leave the house without makeup. Like, my whole character, my whole personality changed, and I didn't want people to see me and feel like I was a deception in comparison to my Instagram photos. And in that period of time when I was going through whatever that was, that period, a friend of mine committed suicide. And then it made me realize that in the grand scheme of life, as serious as spots may be, and yes, you are all right to, you know, want to, you're allowed to feel what you want to feel, right? But to the extent of which it changed my character completely, I was like, this is incorrect, because people are dying, people are suffering, people are starving. And yes, I have spots, but I'm still alive, I'm still well, I've still got thought. And I was just like, so if I could feel like that, someone who felt like she was self-assured, talk less of the younger girls that are completely lost in the source of social media. So I wanted to change the thing that I relied on so much and use it as a tool to kind of like sow seeds in the young girls to actually understand who they are, how they ought to see themselves, and know that regardless if they got 1 spot, 10 spots, wear makeup or don't wear makeup, that their self is the most important, and they need to know, trust that, and believe that for them to thrive the way that they need to thrive.
Wow, that is powerful. And that's powerful in so many ways, because you have so many, oh my God, where do I start? So your story, even behind the initiative, you know, what you experienced with yourself. And it's very common, because a lot of the time we do think that, you know, we're self-assured and we're confident, but then when something happens, it triggers an emotion. And so for yourself, it triggered an emotion, and you thought, hold on a minute, I thought I was this person, but this has happened and I'm this person. So before I speak about the initiative, I want to speak a bit more about your story, because it's very inspiring. So how did you manage emotionally during that process when you had the spots and you had to go through the transition of, you know, being able to take care of your skin again?
I did not manage at all. I was an absolute mess, literally. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe what I was feeling. I felt like, first I felt like I was being a bit dramatic and very shallow for feeling this type of way because of sports, right? And then I was just like, I've never experienced this before. My face doesn't even look like me. And it got bad when like, because it's just my mum and my sister, right? And then like, I would hear them talking about it. And my sister would be like, oh, it's getting bad. And my mum was like, no, it's not that bad. And then sometimes it would turn. And my mum be like, did you see BISI's face today? Like, what's going on? Because if they're so used to seeing me like this, right? Yeah. And then in front of me, they'll be like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm like, oh, bro, I just heard you say it. So I don't know. I don't know how I dealt with that. I kind of not like I acted out, but I kind of like acted out. Maybe not in like a mean way or like someone who just goes out and is reckless, but more so I was very, very much not myself. So I'm pretty much the glue in the house. When you want to something fix, come to BISI. If you want to smile, come to BISI. If you want to laugh, come to BISI. If you're arguing, come to BISI. She'll mediate it, she'll do it. So I'm that person. But they couldn't come to me for nothing. I was just like, okay, literally. And I think that acting out, I guess that's how I dealt with it.
So you kind of, you know, the way you managed it was the best way that you could, essentially. And that's, you know, what works for you. And here you are today with your glowing skin, and with your initiative. Also, I wanted to say sorry for the loss of your friend as well. Sorry about that. And may your friend rest in peace, and bless your friend. So now back to the initiative. So what was it like, you know, working with these young girls and, you know, really inspiring them? Because for me, that is something that I would have loved to have had when I was younger, because I remember the first time I put an eyeliner and it was just like, yes, like that's all I wanted to wear, eyeliner or blusher. But it was just like, why am I wearing it, like, you know, at such a young age as well? So what's that been like for you, working with young people?
When I do go into schools, COVID has been like a complete mess. I haven't been into school and I haven't done a session for a minute, right? But I did do an online seminar just recently, which went really well. But what I learned from it is that, yes, the girls really, really need it. Like, they really need it. And sometimes you don't know what you need until you're given it. Right? And then, like, especially because how it starts. At the beginning of the seminar, I'll be just like, stand up, look at yourself, tell them to take out their phones, put in selfie mode or whatever, and like, tell me what you see. Wow. Tell me what you see. And then they'll either be like, I see this spot, I see someone that's tired, my hair is messy, my eyebrows are bushy, just bare like surface things, right? Negative, yeah. At the end of the session, like, people would be like, I see a girl who's going to try her best to be the best that she can be. I see her who's resilient. And when I see just that 50 minutes and how that transforms their psyche, their mind, I know that I've sown a seed. That whenever they're in the mirror, they're going to be like, as I'm applying my foundation, I'm applying my self-belief. As I'm putting on my eyebrows, I'm operating in the right frame of mind. As I'm contouring my cheeks or whatever, I'm chiseling my skills. When I put my lipstick on or my lip gloss on, I'm going to affirm positivity over my life and knowing that I've been blessed with an idea or a concept that can be that seed for someone else, a young girl, to be the best that they can be is just awesome. And then when I get back after, thank you so much for coming to the class. I didn't see myself that way before. I'm just like, yes, Baba God, thank you. Amen. That's what it's all about. It's not about me. It's not about how cute I look when I go into the schools or how many followers I have. Sometimes English forgets me, but how many followers I have is about the impact and the legacy that you have on other people. And when I see that in the young girls, I feel like, yes, I'm fulfilling purpose.
100. That is amazing. Like that. Round of applause, because I can see love hearts just going up like that. That's amazing, and that's so powerful, you know. And I like the fact how you're using makeup, which is a tool that a lot of people, even myself, a tool that a lot of people use to kind of put on their face, like you said, to enhance their beauty or enhance their looks. But really and truly, you need to, you know, feel confident within yourself and love yourself already before you want to enhance your nose or put lipstick on your lips. So that's amazing. I love that so much. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing. I wish you all the best with that. And if you want any help, contact me, because That's amazing. I love it. Okay, so I watched your spoken word piece on I Am Black, and very powerful, very, 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 very powerful. I've also watched your talks, your interviews where you interview people, I Am Black talks. And I just find that whole initiative very inspiring and something that's very needed today, because a lot of the time we don't really speak about how it feels to just be black. And even me thinking about it now is kind of like, I don't even know what I would say. So it's so inspiring to just listen to other people and listen to their experiences. So how was that for you?
So the story of I Am Black, right? So I would not say that I'm a spoken word artist or that I'm a poet or that I'm a writer at all, right? I do create.
But you're good at it. But you're good at it.
Thank you.
Let's put that out there.
No, my motto is that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So even if I don't really know what I'm doing, as long as I put my hand to it and God's got me, then it'll turn out good. It's like, it just has to by default. But I used to write when I was unable to kind of articulate how I was feeling. So like, let's say for example, when I was younger, I was feeling really low, like I was feeling really down, and like I wrote a piece called Alone in a Room Full of People, right? Wow. I put in a room full of people, but I felt so alone.
Wow.
And I wrote another piece called Frustrations of a Good Girl, part 1 and part 2, right? Wow. And I wrote another piece called 11. And I had bare pieces I put on poetry.com. And I can't find them anymore because poetry.com's gone. So I'm stressed out. But basically, I used to write back then and I stopped it. Yeah, just stopped it. And then when I saw the George Floyd video, I was so like bamboozled, like my mind was completely blown at the fact that there could be such disregard for life just because of the pigmentation of our skin that we didn't choose. I was just like, how can someone feel like they can stay on someone's neck for 8.47 seconds, 8 minutes and 47 seconds, right? And just feel like they can do it because of their position, because of their color, because of, I don't know, whatever job title they have. How can you, like how? Like how is that possible? Like how? And I couldn't, see, I can't articulate how someone could even think that's okay. With all the cameras on your face, you're still doing it, yeah? And I watched it, I was just like, wow. And then I felt completely like off. And then I heard a voice in my mind say, hi, I'm black. And I was like, obviously I'm black, I'm not yellow, I'm not white, I'm not blue. Of course I'm black. I ignored it. The next day, again, hi, I'm black in the morning. I was like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, really, what do you want? What? Ignored it again. And then I woke up Friday morning at 6 a.m. And it was weird that I woke up at 6 a.m. because I definitely went to sleep at like 3-ish. Yeah, I don't know. I woke up at 3. And then High and Black came up again. So I was just, all right, cool. Seeing as you're not leaving me alone, let me open my notebook, my notepad on notes on iPhone and start writing. I wrote Hi, I'm Black. And I started writing. As you can see from the color of my skin, I'm deeply enriched. Wow. And I was just like writing, and I was just like, wow, you went to school sometimes, but I was just writing. And it got to 9 o'clock a.m. So 3 hours had passed. I had finished. And I read it back. Like, BISI, did you write this? Like, did you actually write this? And then usually I do this thing called the BISI Show Lockdown Edition, where I sit basically right here and give like my Instagram followers an update on what's going on in the world. And I call my videographer who usually edits it for me. And I was like, I've got this piece. I don't know if I should film it in the room or how I should film it, but can I read it to you? And then I read it to him and he's like, what? Like, BISI, this piece is so powerful, and you say every single thing that many people want to say but don't know how to say. So you have to make sure for the message to be received the way that it needs to be received, that it is filmed in a correct way. So we got together, hollered a friend, another friend, got a space, and then I had to record it in like a monologue sort of version. So one take. And then when I recorded it, we put it out, I think it was on a Thursday or a Tuesday, whatever, and it just went crazy. It absolutely went crazy.
Yes.
And it was so well received. And I think by now it should have like over 83,000 views. And I was just like, yo, it's really, really impactful in a sense where a lot of Black women, a lot of Black men, a lot of Black people like, yes, thank you for being a voice. Thank you for saying everything I wanted to say. But more so, I had a lot of Caucasians, a lot of white people, a lot of people that aren't Black saying, now I see.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now I see it. Like, I did that. I don't pronounce people's names right. I don't even try to pronounce it. Why I
Yes.
asked about their hair in the wrong way, and like all
Mm.
of these things. And like, thank you so much for saying it. And I was just like, wow. And then I didn't want it to be performative because I don't do things for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to be deemed as, oh my gosh, just jumping on the bandwagon of high Black or whatever. And I felt like it was important for those conversations to continue being had. As a presenter, I do like to ask people questions. I like to be able to be that mediator between someone's story and someone receiving that person's story. So I was just like, it'll be good for us to continue and have High and Black talks, where it would be an open space where you can have informed, loose conversations about Black people, their Black experiences, and how they've been able to navigate their field as a Black person. So I wanted to do High and Black and I'm a voice, High and Black and I'm in finance, High and Black and I'm in property, High and Black and I'm a CEO. You know, those roles which are kind of really white or really
Black people
not
having.
seen as Black, but see that we occupy that space. We've been able to live in that space. And what is our story? What is our voice? How have we been able to maneuver? And if someone that sees that and wants to get into that same kind of route or that same sort of trajectory, then they can do that watching their person's experience. So yeah, that's what High and Black Talks is. I just goes really, really far, and I'm able to impact people's lives. Because everything's about impacting service. Just the best way that you know how to do it.
Amen. Click, 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 click. Oh, BISI, you're so, you know what? You're so powerful. And even speaking to you, I know that God has blessed you. You know, to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and to write something and finish at 9, and for it to be so powerful and so inspirational, but not only just for your people, for other people. That is a gift from God that no one can take away from you. And when I watched it, you know, it was so authentic, and the power of your voice when you were saying it, and the music, and the whole just everything, it was just really powerful and very, very inspiring. And we need to push that out more. I'm going to put it on my platform and just push it out, because we need it. Because, you know, even the things that you were talking about, you know, about my name is BISI, but I can shorten it for you, just so you can pronounce it, and even the hair. These are things that everybody goes through. Almost every Black person has gone through. My name is this. Oh, but no, just call me this. Just shorten it, just to make someone else happy. But no, my name is this, and this is what you're gonna call me. If you don't know how to pronounce it, you can learn when you get home. Basically. Even the hair at work, that's a common thing. You know, when we switch up our hair and there's always comments on it, and yeah, BISI, that powerful.
Listen, I used to work in like an office in like London Bridge, and I like to change my hair. I'm like, right? And then every single time, oh my gosh, you look like a new person. I'm like, bro, I'm sitting at the same place. I'm sitting in the exact same place you left me yesterday. I just have different hair. It's not a point of conversation. It's actually so dead.
Exactly. And like you said, it's not a point of conversation, but I feel that people in the workplace want to make it a point of conversation, but it's like,
I feel like they can relate to you that way, like they're breaking the ice. Oh, your hair is lovely. It's heavy. How do you do that? Did it take long? Like, allow it.
Yeah, we've all gone through, we've all been there. And it's very uncomfortable, you know. It's very, because then, you know, if you reply back in a certain mannerism, then you'll be portrayed as this type of person. So every Black person, if you've experienced that, please send some love hearts. I want to see some love hearts, because there's no comments, but yeah, so show me some love hearts. But yeah, so I was going to ask you, off of the back of that, how, I know you touched upon it in the beginning of this conversation, how does it feel to be a Black woman right now? If you was to put it in a sentence or a paraphrase, what would you say? No pressure. There's love hearts.
Two words come to mind, and I'm pretty like, I can't like fake things. So, exhilarating, I think, is the best thing ever, but then it's also tiring. So it's like an oxymoron, and sometimes you don't know how to operate between the both. Like, I absolutely love being a Black woman. I wouldn't want to be anything else. Like, we are so dope. It's unbelievable.
100%.
Sometimes I can't even find it. It's absolutely like, when then you see like how mistreated and how disregarded and how it's just, it gets tiring. You have to be so strong, and then like you can't really be weak, and then even when you're so strong, they still try and like push you down. And like, even today, Brianna, yeah, the verdict, even the Meg Thee Stallion being shot in the foot, how it was laughed about before it was taken seriously. And there's so many things that are minute, right? And then you deep how disregarded we are as people. When it comes to like childbirth and people just dying left, right, and center, and like when you read research, and I like to research, but you read like different articles about how Black women are more likely to die in childbirth. And yes, childbirth is like a miracle that happens, that we is so light. But the fact that even in the organizations and in the systems, even though we are so elite, we are just treated so low, and that's tiring. But we are resilient people. We are so excellent. We are so strong. To be honest, sometimes we shouldn't have to be so strong, but I love being strong, you know? So it's exhilarating and tiring.
Thank you. Those are two great words to piece up how it feels right now for you being a Black woman.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. I feel that it's tiring. It's very tiring. But I feel like the ancestors that are within us are keeping us strong.
Yeah.
But I also feel that we need to, I don't know what we need to do, but I think as a culture, as a community, we need to come together and just identify what it is that we need to do and how we're going to move forward. Because I feel that what's been going on right now, we can't go back to the old ways. We can't go back. We have to go forward. We have to push forward. And we have to do it for ourselves, but also do it for our ancestors, and also do it for the next generation. So that when they're growing up, they're equipped and they're strong, and they're like, you know what, my ancestors did this for me, I'm going to continue on this journey. And kind of like, you know, just give it that energy and give it that strength. But obviously it's a journey that we need to go on, and you know, it's going to take its time. But once it's started, baby steps, and we can kind of get there. Also, I want to touch on, so I watched a video on your Instagram, and one of the things you mentioned was you're not on the BISI show. Actually, you said you're not always okay. So on your bio, you've put I always smile, right? And then in one of your shows, you put you're not always happy, which is totally understandable. So I want to ask you then, what makes you smile?
I think I smile most when I'm in like the selfie sessions and I'm impacting the girls. I think that's when I smile the most. But I smile when I make people happy, when I see people filled with joy, and like I smile when I see good food, because I smile a lot more so because I know my smile makes people smile, and I like to serve. Sometimes I smile when I don't want to smile. Oh, wow. That's kind of sad sometimes. Yeah, that's kind of sad sometimes, and it gets tiring sometimes. But I know that I've been blessed with a great smile. I think my smile is just so I know how it makes people smile when I do smile. So I smile a lot because of that. But I smile the most when I'm in service to others, especially through selfie.
Amen. You know what? You're so inspiring, and your story is in everything that you do, down to your smile. You know, down to your smile. Your story's in your smile. And I love that you smile, and I want you to keep smiling. And I know it can be quite draining to smile even when you don't feel like smiling. But for me, I want you to remember that your act of service is for God, you know, and when you're making other people smile, you're being their light when they may be in their darkness.
Yeah.
But I also want you to remember for yourself that when you are experiencing times when you feel like you're in darkness, to seek help or speak to people, and you know, don't feel afraid or ashamed or embarrassed or any type of emotion to speak to someone, because yes, you are the light in other people's lives, but you also need to be that light in your life as well. And it doesn't have to be consistently, you know,
Yeah.
because we're human, and there's going to be a time where we can't be bothered, or we're annoyed, or we're low, and whatever emotion it may be. But just always fill up your cup, or always light your candle, and ensure your candle is lit, should I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, because I don't want to let you go without asking you this question. Before we go, so how do you take care of your mental well-being, or what would be your self-care routine in making you happy?
I'm actively working on that. I don't think I've found one
Okay.
that fully works for me just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like at times where I feel like everything is like upside down, or I just feel like I'm getting a bit more depleted, or my resilience is running down, I do
Mm-hmm.
like tap out. And when I tap out, I basically like don't respond, don't speak to anybody. I just go in timeout, and I just do a mix.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just chill. I literally just chill. I try not to think. I try not to do anything. And then once I've done that, I come back and I've got like a little recharge. But I think what would be nice, once COVID allows it, for me to go away on like a spa vacation
Oh
or a
yes.
spa break, and really just like look after myself and give myself that good treatment. And
Mm-hmm.
whilst I'm at home and I can't really get a massage or can't really get a facial, all of that stuff, I literally just tap out. It's really important to be able to tap in and tap out, and tap
Mm-hmm.
out when you want to tap out. And
Mm-hmm.
because like when like in like the social media kind of thing, there's engagement, there's posting, there's commenting back, there's all of these things, and it gets so tedious. Like it gets
Mm-hmm.
so tedious. And if you're like the happy-go-lucky person, you always have to come and be like, "Hey guys, I'm BISI Akins. Welcome to the BISI Show." So it's important to be able to tap out and have people around you that understand, or don't get offended if you don't respond at a
Mm.
time, or just know that you just need to tap out. And I feel like recently, and sometimes my tap out periods are quite long. They may not be like completely tapped out, but I feel like I've been in a long tap out period for about a month now, where I'm like, I'm here and then I'm not here, I'm here and I'm not here. And it's just important that you take that time for yourself and just tap out when need be. So I think that is cool. And I do love to do like skin stuff to make my skin glow. Because when my skin glows and I take pictures, or like I've got a video of my skin just looking like shiny, I was like, yes, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, BISI, that was lovely.
Thank you.
True, you know what? Truly inspirational. Even for me, like all of my interviews, I love interviewing people. As you can imagine, you do a great job at it yourself. I'm still a baby, but I love it, because for me, it's even therapeutic for me to kind of learn from other people, because I'm not perfect, and yes, I'm a therapist, but I don't know everything,
Yeah.
and it's so important for me to learn from other people. And it just really makes me smile to know that, you know, although you tap out, that's your way of taking care of your mental health.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't have to think of something extravagant like, you know, I meditate or I do this. You know, your meditation is your tap out.
Yeah.
And so I love that, and I want to encourage you to continue to tap out, because it's so important to tap out. We all need to tap out every now and again. And yeah, I just want to say, just keep being you, keep shining your light, keep smiling, keep being inspirational, keep being empowering. Keep speaking. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, I don't want to put pressure on you, but I just want to speak life into you and just empower you to kind of keep doing what you're doing, because we need it and we love you for it. And your story is amazing. It's inspiring. And you know, when I think about you now, because I've got to know you on another level. So when I think about you now, I'm going to think about your story, you know, your smile, and then your being a Black woman and your talks. It's just, you know what, you're amazing. You are amazing. And today's interview has been amazing. So I thank you so much for speaking with me about a topic that you've never spoken about before, especially on a live.
I know.
I can see so many love hearts.
About me now.
But yeah, no, thank you so much. I want to talk to you more as well, but off camera. But yeah, and also your poetry. Keep writing. Don't stop writing. Don't ignore the voice. When you hear the voice, it's a voice to listen to. You better pick up your pen and listen, girl. But yeah, no, thank you so much. And I wish you well in everything. And
continue.
Take care.
It's important for these people, these conversations that be had.
100%.
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I feel like it's important that everyone talks about their mental well-being and like how they are. So it's amazing what you're doing, and thank you for seeing something in me and wanting to speak to me. This is awesome. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you got more out of me than most of my friends sometimes.
Oh wow.
I'm not the most expressive, so you got more out of me on the live.
Wow.
One of the people that are watching this, you now know BISI. Times 2.